Howdy there. I'm here to talk about Young Adult. Saw it a few nights ago, and I'll go ahead and give it a 7. I thought it was a quality watch. Young Adult is about a successful, I would call successful writer, though that could be argued, returning home to her small hometown. She's moved to the big city. She's recently got divorced. She has had a string of one-night stands, I guess you'd call them. She perhaps appears to be an alcoholic. She says she's an alcoholic. She just appears to be, at her wit's end. Though, for no reason. She seems to have success, but yet there's something inside of her that is not happy. Is not happy with what she has. And it all just comes crumbling down when she receives a mass email from her high school boyfriend, maybe like early college boyfriend, that he is now been married and has a brand new baby. And it just sends her off the deep end. She gets it in her head that she will go back to her high school town, her hometown, and she will steal back the man that she thinks she loves. And we're not too sure of what the ultimate plan is, and we're not sure if she even knows that, but she knows that she will be happy if she can destroy a couple lives. So she goes home, and it's basically her adventures there. She meets an old acquaintance. I can't call them friends, but an old acquaintance, and gets back with her parents, and of course tries to steal her man back. And of course discovers herself in the meantime. Let's see. Stars Charlize Theron, looking ever beautiful. Patton Oswalt. Patrick Wilson. Who else is in there? There's some faces I recognize, but definitely don't know. Gosh, who else was in there? There was somebody else. Anyway, I guess those are the big three. It directed by Jason Reitman. I'm pretty sure that's his name. He did Thank You for Smoking and Up in the Air. I think this is his third film, maybe fourth. Yeah, okay, it was well directed. I would say this is probably his least film. So far, he hasn't made a bad movie, though. It was written by Diablo Cody from Juno fame. And what was that horror movie she wrote? Jennifer something? Jennifer 8? I can't remember now. But the one with Megan Fox as, the wandering demon. I'd say that's the screenplay, the story is why I'm not giving it a higher score than a 7, though I think a 7 is a pretty good movie, pretty good time. The story is nothing new. Really nothing new. You pretty much know exactly what's going to happen at pretty much every step of the way. This is pretty much her, I don't know whether to call it a love letter or hate letter to her hometown. This seemed very personal. For Diablo Cody, it seemed very personal. She probably has some issues with her hometown. So, again, it was just like nothing really new, but where the story was not really anything fresh, the detail taken in the characters. You know, the characters are really fleshed out, thought out, and deep, and it's just all there on the page. You know, before the actors even get it, there's a lot there for them to work with. Lots of character detail. So the characters are very rich. They're very believable. And again, this isn't that fresh of a story, but I imagine that the story happens all the time. So it's kind of accurate in that way, I imagine. But the characters are so believable that it makes it, you know, very enjoyable to watch. And then when you add in the talented actors in the movie, then it becomes even more. So you're watching these fantastic actors deliver great performances of richly written characters. So I think it definitely works. Though, again, you pretty much can connect the dots as you go along. Nothing really surprising there. All the acting's really good. I think Charlize Theron did a great job. She's a tremendous actress. She's gorgeous, talented. You know, she's got the whole movie star package. Patton Oswalt, he pretty much, it seems that, you know, perfect casting. You know, perfect casting. It didn't seem like he had to act too much. You know, and he got to make out with Charlize Theron. So, good going, Patton. Patrick Wilson, good. Patrick Wilson's always good. You know, he's pretty much been in a lot of things by now. The first time I remember him was from Hard Candy. He's always been very good, and he plays different types of characters. So I really haven't seen him do this type of character. So yeah, he was really good. All the acting was really good. It definitely did a great job at capturing that hometown feel. It got a lot of the nuances, the subtleties. Again, the problem with the screenplay, and it's not too much of a problem, it's just that the story's been told so many times. You know, I don't know if I want to go so far as to call it cliched, but, you know, maybe. But all of the detail, you know, it's just very rich. Probably because the story has been told so many times, you can focus on the details. And those details, again, make for a very realistic experience. I thought it was funny because I saw this film right after I saw Shame. And Shame, you know, for me, might as well have been science fiction. You know, there was not much that I could identify with. But here, and then I go to young adult, and it's just like large chunks of my life just put up right there on the screen. So I thought that was funny how I went from, you know, not being able to identify at all to being able to identify way too much. So that was good for me. I thought it was really funny. It had some big laughs. You know, it was just really good. It was a quality watch. I think we've heard that Charlize Theron will probably now be nominated for a Best Actress. I mean, I guess, you know, she did a really good job. I think a woman of her talent who could play Monster could do this role standing on her head, and maybe she did. But she was really good, and now all of a sudden, like, Kirsten Dunst is being squeezed out of the Best Actress race for Melancholia, which I totally don't agree with. And I think Charlize Theron is, like, kind of doing that because she was never talked about, and now she's talked about. Don't really know what else to say. And for Jason Reitman, I mean, nothing too extraordinary. It was very kind of simple, but the story was simple. I would probably call it his least film, though it's not, bad in any way. It's a 7. It's definitely not up in the air, and it's definitely not Thank You for Smoking. I think both those films are, well above this one. That's about all I have to say. It looked good. Again, it got all the details right, probably because this was a very personal story, it felt like, for Diablo Cody. So when the writer is there and in charge of all those details, then, it's going to be good. It's going to be believable. And it definitely was believable. I was transported to that small town to watch this story. So that's, an accomplishment. That's pretty much it. I don't really know what else to say. I enjoyed it, had a good time. I'm recommending it. If you can see it in the theater, do so, of course. But definitely rent it. It's kind of a borderline. I definitely don't want to call it a chick flick, though some might. I think there's something there for, everyone to identify with. I mean, there's basically only one female character, and she's against, the world. And, she's basically doesn't have any female friends, so all of her friends are male. So again, there's just lots for men and women to identify with, I think. So it's a really good movie. Yeah, okay. So that's young adult. It's a solid 7. Check it out. Thanks.